Attention, attention, attention. This is the Tao Net A of the day. I'm your net controller, Tango Yankee 9, Yankee Uniform Echo. If you're around and would like to check in, you can now do so. Remind everyone that the net is being recorded for training purposes. Please come in with your call sign phonetically.
Tango Yankee 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha.
Okay, got you. Anyone else want to check in? Check in.
Tango Yankee 2 Kilo Alpha, India.
Keep it going. Anyone? Check in. Check in.
Tango Yankee 2, Charlie Hotel Golf.
Okay, one more call. Anyone? Check in. Check in. Check in. Okay, we'll begin the net and call out again later. So, yesterday, our net mostly go around the faith topic, um, offering your faith to the God, Kung Feng, right? And then we get into the div. So, today, let's continue a little bit about this mindset. So, as I have said on my YouTube page, the front page, they kept recommending a lot of videos of different like other Taoist sect master being interviewed, and they're like talking about their stuff. So somehow I got to watch a little bit of them, and there's this master who said he screwed up because a lot of the times he just like feel like doing it, and then he would do it. So someone come to him for help, he think he want to help that person, then he'll like, okay, yeah, I will help you. But usually what people should be doing is not based on your feeling, but hey, you're using the magic power from the god at your altar. You should always ask the god, should you accept the case, or could you accept the case? Because after all that, you're actually using the god's power to deal with the case. What if your god is not ready, right? And this guy bang into some troubles because he didn't ask his God first, and always like, just rely on himself, the thinking, the feeling. That will be a big problem. Now, talking about our div, it's pretty much like that too. Like whenever you do things with the altar, especially magic work, don't just think I want to, like, oh, today I feel great, I want to do this full writing, today I want to do this, like sometimes you feel great but the god doesn't. So before you do something, it is always a wise decision to make sure that the gods are also ready, or they are also good to go. um so maybe you don't know, but for ceremonies like our Lunar 1st and 15th, right? It's basically set already. Everything is like we have a schedule of how to do it. But Usually, the week before the ceremony, we would have a time in mind and we'll ask the God, can we do the ceremony during this day, this time? And if the God say no, well, what do? Drop on your knees and cry? No, right? You ask the God, is there any other choices, any other plan? Or maybe you can see if the God can work something out and you'll ask again tomorrow and see if the time is approved. And eventually we get the time we want. There's a lot of things done at the back, like booking an appointment. It's not like I want to do it that time because I'm free and it will be done. No, it's a conversation between two parties to make that happen. Okay, let's pass the mic to Tango Yankee 4 Hotel Alpha Alpha.
Tango Yankee 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha. It seems like for getting directives and attention and answers from our God through the div, it can be tricky, but it sounds like it's something that has to come with experience. If we don't have these trials and errors, or when we're not sure, that we shouldn't give up on it. And we also can't have an emotional attachment to it or try to make an outcome happen. So like, okay, I need to get this to be approved, so I'm just going to keep rolling until I get it. So I don't think that's possible. So there's a certain amount of detachment to the outcome that we have to practice, in addition to just and also acceptance for what we get. I think sometimes I struggle with that. Like, okay, I didn't get the outcome I wanted. That happened to me a few times when I was live with JLG. My div didn't come out when we finished with a certain section, and I wanted it to happen, but I'm like, no, I need to report that it didn't happen, or something didn't transfer, or something like that, so that I can make sure that it does. But emotionally, I wanted to keep going because I wanted to get through the sermon, or not the sermon, but the service. So having a detachment to the outcome and having a certain amount of practice helps us to feel more confident when we don't get the outcome that we're expecting. Is that right? TY4HAA.
A little bit off. It's not like I want this outcome. It's more like you're checking if like the food is ready or not. You want the food to be ready, but it's not ready. Are you gonna cry? Right? Well, right. Like what are you gonna do? Right? It's not ready. Then you keep cooking, or you try something else, or turn up the heat, or something like that. You have to figure out why it is not ready, and it's not like I have to accept that it's not cooked. Right? Like, why do you have to accept? Like, it's not hard to accept it's not cooked. You look at the chicken, it's still raw. What do you do? Not eat it? No, you find a way to cook it, right? So maybe the heat was like too low. I need to like up that to level or something. Then eventually it will be cooked. During a ceremony, it's very important to see, like when the god say it's not ready. Well, it could be like just take time for the god to finish their job. It could be you have to rush something to happen. It could be something that the god wants to tell you, or maybe the god doesn't want to help the guy, right? That can happen. When I was writing food for the clients, I have tried. There's this client that is like, I wrote the food and I checked it, and the god is like 3 or 4 times not approving it, and I am the one checking the food, right? It's not like I'm a newbie, and I keep getting the negative. So I was like, what the heck? So something's wrong, right? Something must be up. So I talked to the god about it, and I was like, you don't want to help this guy? or is this a bad guy or whatever? And eventually I figured out, okay, so this is going to be a bad client. And then I asked another question. I said, can I just ship him the food and make it like a like just a physical item, like a trade. And so can I do that? And the God is like, sing, sing, sing. So obviously the God is like, yeah, just ship him the food. We're not doing shit, like that. So once you get that answer immediately, everything is flowing again. So, and after all that, well, that was a client that is bad. It's like, those troll clients. So turn out it was. And if I keep trying to give the power to that person, what happened is, well, maybe the guy is going to use my power to do stuff to me, like a tracking and, do something bad to me. So now I did what the God guided me to do. And, you just paid for paper. That's it. There you go. Tango Yankee 2 Kilo Alpha India.
Tango Yankee 2 Kilo Alpha India. I want to greet everyone on the net. uh, I just want to find out on a situation whereby, let's say, everything is going well. Because I remember last time I was so serious about coming to the, what you call it, to the Zoom class, but nothing was going well in that and the other day. I ended up not coming in and participating. I don't know what I want to find out if that could also influence the like everything is going like everything has been set by the God, and then you don't participate, and then you ended up missing out on the ceremony. Is that also a thing, or it's not as serious as I assume it is? Tango Yankee to Kilo Alpha India. Back to you.
Um, well, you can always update the gods, update me, right? Um, when you like said you will attend and you end up you cannot, right? It's not like at that moment when the ceremony starts that oh, I cannot, right? Like usually you know that you cannot attend a little bit earlier, like before the ceremony, so you can inform me about it so that I can also update the gods about it, then it's fine, right? But what's annoying is if people say they will come and they end up not showing up, then you're lying. So lying pisses people off, and so is the God, right? So eventually you lie a few times, then the God is like, well, then we don't have to keep our words too. So when you start asking for help, they'll like give you, like a sing for your work. Okay, sing, 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 yeah, but it's not working. Why? Well, because we don't have to keep our words anyway, right? That's what it is like. So we need to make sure that we are honest with ourselves and the gods. And if you cannot attend for whatever reason, you can always inform and update, and that will not like turn into a lie, when you update. And if you cannot reach me, like, oh, somehow my internet died or something, I can't really update. So what do I do? Well, you can update the god yourself, right? You have a heart spell 2 that connects to the cord, or you can use master spell, and you use the ring bell hand sign, and then you leave a message, right? So you can always tell the court about it, and the message can be relayed, and it will be understood. So don't worry so much. Eventually you learn. So yeah, let's move on to Tango Yankee 2 Charlie Hotel Golf.
Yes, Ajahn. Tango Yankee 2, Charlie Hotel Golf. The analogy of cooking really struck home for me because it's not necessarily something that basically you're attached to, you're just waiting. And it's either it's going to take more time or less time. It's all about waiting and just being patient and going through the process of the process of cooking to see what is the next step. and it's just that simple. And it's really intuitive because you don't want to be too anxious or allow yourself to overthink the process. It's just cooking, and it really puts me in a place where I don't overthink the process, especially when you're dealing with a God, because you want to be as humble or as polite or as nice as possible. But when you just disattach from those type of preconceived notions and just know that no, it's just cooking, and you're gonna be as calm as possible, as nice, and you just go through the motions. Back to you, Tango Yankee 2 Charlie Hotel Golf.
Chung, how did you hold your phone to talk today? Maybe you can use the mirror and take a picture. Let me see how you talk to the phone. You sound so muffled today. It's like even worse than your normal normal audio. I'm not sure what happened. Um, yeah, I mean, you really need that talkie, huh? Well, it will be a great investment. Well, yeah. Going back to the div, um, for cooking, we have a desired outcome. Like I'm trying to cook this chicken. I want it to be done and golden skin and whatever juicy and everything's cooked well, right? Like I have a desire for that to happen. Same thing for ceremony. You're doing the like maybe the army thing and you're like, fanning around the house and trying to, get things done, right? And then you div and you got a yum. So what do you do? It's like the chicken is not cooked yet. What do you do? Well, you check what's going on. Why is it not cooked? Then you deal with that why, right? So it's not something to be disappointed at. Like you don't have to think like, did I do something wrong? Did I not do it right? Right? It's like when you're cooking chicken, even you did it right, the chicken could be also still raw, right? It's just not ready yet. Sometimes they just take some time, like maybe you're using your troops and the troops are newbies. So they're like, yeah, we need some time to kind of like, read over your manual. So sometimes it's like really, really simple, You did one time, it's not ready yet. And then you're like, okay, do you need more time? Right? Like what you're asking is, do you guys understand what I mean? Right? That's what you're asking. So if they understand, it will be done. But if it's like, I don't understand yet, then okay, give you like 5 more minutes, to understand what I just did. Okay, I get it now. Right? Sometimes it's just that simple. So you don't see like you cannot see gods like they are always going to be like perfect, fast, immediate, instant. You look at them like they're people. And even like now I'm teaching a lesson over this net, right? After my talk, I asked, hey, how are you like understanding it all the way, like 100%? And she could be like, and I'm like, so repeat it back to me. And she could be confused, then that's a yum already, right? But it's not like my lesson is a problem or my mic is not working. She might just need like a second clarification, or maybe there's like something that she needs a repeat, right? So don't feel so bad when you get a yum in the ceremony. It's not always like your fault. It's not always like you bad. Sometimes it's the God needs some time. Okay, before I move back to the top, anyone want to check in? Please come in with your call sign phonetically. Check in, check in, check in, check in. Okay, quiet start. Back to the top. Tango Yankee 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha. Hey,
Tango Yankee 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha. You definitely can find yourself in a position where you're not necessarily uh, grasping all the concepts, and sometimes it goes over your head. It does take a little bit. I've seen that happen too, where I'm like, oh wow, what was that concept that I was supposed to get? Oh, everything he just said was gibberish. I don't even know what that is. So yeah, it can happen. But don't panic when it happens. It just means something. It's like what Shadron says, that the Wi-Fi gets disconnected for a second and then it kicks back in. So yeah, Tango Yankee for Hotel Alpha Alpha.
Yeah, talking about that disconnect, I saw Gay just checked in with the text, but I think she's restarting, so I'll call her again in a bit. Yeah, even for Cello, you guys are like trying to check in and then it doesn't work. The button just bounces you a few times and say too many messages. That can happen. Now that's a yum, but it doesn't mean that your machine is broken. You just try again. Okay, let's see. Tango Yankee 2, Kilo Alpha India.
Tenga to Kilo Alpha India. Need to ask if uh, when do we decide to do the deal? Like, for example, I did learn something like, yeah, I do report everything to the God. Like, if my foreman is coming to you and ask some question, like he's angry at something that maybe I have done, starting the truck and build the air pressure, and then he come there, he's not approve of that, and then he start yet yelling. I just want to find out if those kind of things must you just report to your guard that you don't like where your foreman's behavior and stuff. So when do we decide to do the diff when we doing the magic? Is it necessary to do the diffs every now and then when we are doing stuff? I don't. I just want to clarify that part and which occasion where we should decide maybe to do the diff. Tiwa Tango Yankee 2 Kilo Alpha India. Back to you.
Okay, that's a good question. So imagine you are doing magic, which is like you are instructing someone, and okay, so we're like working in the kitchen, like food example. So we're working in the kitchen, right? So I or you are instructing a person to do things. You're telling him to clean, to cook, to cut the veggie, right? So you are blind. You can't see, okay? You cannot see, but you can speak. So what you're doing is you tell this guy, maybe his name is like John or something. John, pick out the carrot. And he's like, okay. So you have to div, right? Or else how do you know if he pick out the carrot or not? Okay, so do you have the carrot? And then you div, right? And he say yes. Okay, now chop them into pieces that is around 2 cm. Okay, and then okay, now you div again, right? Chopped. Okay, chopped. Finish. Good. And then now you put oil in the wok. Hey, where are you? Did you put oil yet? Yes, I did. Okay, you see, every confirmation is like a div. It comes back to you, letting you know if what you have ordered is done. So you talk to God like throughout the ceremony, right? You do something like write a fati or the symbol, or you recite a spell or something. You want to know, do you get it? Is it done? Right? Or else, how do you know? Like, there are people who think that they have cleansed the space. Oh, I just like, do a hospital and then splash the palm and then, ha, right? And I just believe it's done. How do you know? You don't know. So how do you know if the God actually got your message and have it done? You do a div. So you clean, right? Yeah, you did your action, but the action is only like the instruction for the God. You are responsible to check if the God understands it, if the God has actually done it or not, right? It's very important. Like, was it like understood? Was it done? And how's the outcome, right? Like, you need to know how was it. So that's why we need to div. Now that leads to more in-depth teaching about div cup later. So let's pass the mic to Tango Yankee 2 Charlie Hotel Golf.
This is Tango Yankee 2, Charlie Hotel Golf. Apologies, Sergeant, I forgot. I usually have to hold the phone in a very specific manner, but hopefully this is better. The analogy is definitely helping me to understand more about the chord, especially how if you get a yum, it may not necessarily be your fault. It's just the process may have a bad connection. I think sometimes I have a wrong interpretation of what the chord is like. Everything is perfect. There's no issues. Like the oil is there, and like you told me, they have a life. They do stuff. They have their own place where they go and reside, and sometimes when you communicate, and it may have a bad signal. So that is something I need to keep at the back of my mind. Usually when I'm diving or I'm in a ceremony and not to panic and think something is wrong. That definitely removes a lot of the anxiety about the ceremony in general because we want to do our best and try to perform at the highest level at where we're at. And the other analogy that you just gave us about we have to imagine that we are in the kitchen and they kind of doing stuff for us because they're like an extension of us is definitely giving me more of a mental image of how I should associate the God. Back to you, Tango Yankee 2, Charlie Hotel Golf.
Hey, you sound much better. I wonder what you did. Yeah, you did sound much better. Um, okay. Now here I will talk about an in-depth div cup, like why we throw one time, two times, three times. It goes back to D1, D6, D8. So in your D1, you have a heart, right? The heart is for what? The heart is for focus, for like being aware of things, right? And then D6 is like your mental, so for understanding, for like, do you get it? Do you understand? And then D8 is the outcome, the final action. Is it done? So when you ask the God, when we throw the diff cup, it goes 1, 6, 8 like that. So when would you throw one times? Usually it's like, do you got it? Do you got it? Sometimes on the net, especially like ladies times, right? I call him and I was like talking a bunch of things and then turn out he doze off. So when it's his turn, he's like, he's not here. And then I call again, TY4LEI. And then he's like, yeah, Saturn. Sorry, I just dozed off. That means if I'm doing a div cup, this will be the first toss, which is yum, because he didn't even connect. He is not focused. He didn't get it. Like it didn't even connect to me, right? So when you see the first is yum already, like, hey, there's no need to keep going because he didn't get it. So I might as well just repeat. But yeah. So sometimes it's like he get it, like he heard the whole message, but he don't understand what I'm saying. So now it's like the first one may be a yang, but the second one, the second div will be a yum. So he don't understand. It's like I heard you, but it's just like it's like I know you spoken. I heard the words, but I just don't get anything. Then there's no point of diving the third time because like you don't understand. Okay, let me repeat. Right? So I explain and elaborate the details. Now, if both are good, then you toss the third one, which is the D8, which is the action. So how was it? Have you done it, or how was the outcome? Right? So that's the three step when we div. Okay. So if you're like doing fanning around the place and then trying to kill the evil, right? Okay, so you did all the instruction. You come back to the altar and you div. Number one, toss. Okay, that's a yang, meaning like you get it. Okay, so your soldiers was like they acknowledge your command. Okay, that's good. Now, will I just let it be? Maybe not. So I div the second time. Do they understand? Okay, I gotta sing. So they truly perfect understand, no problem. So how was it? So I asked for the last div. Boom, I got a yum. Shit. So what does it mean? It means that it was not done yet, right? So it's not done yet. Hey, but I can now add one more div to confirm. So will it be done? Or maybe I'll like rush them, like do it now, right? And then I ask again, are you done? Okay, you're done. So now we know they're done. Okay. So when we div, it's not always like I just toss three times, right? No, sometimes you toss two times or one time and you don't need to continue because logically you know what it means, right? Like, hey, this guy don't understand. Why do you have to ask a third time? He don't understand that you explain. But if he don't get it, like he's not focusing, then you need to repeat the whole thing. So you get it? Now let's try to see if a gay can come in. Tango Yankee 2, Golf Echo India. Hey.
Tango Yankee 2, Golf Echo India. Heckin' finally. Um, so yeah, I've been really appreciating the clarifications, the breakdown. And what I'm gathering so far is that learning to div is not so much about the skill, it's a new way of living, basically. You have to imagine that you are like the CEO of a new company, or the director of a live theater production, and like you know how things are supposed to go. I like to use the theater analogy, like each scene can't progress until the prop master is ready and sound and lighting have had their cues. The actors are ready, they're in costume, they're in makeup. Um, all of these things have to be aligned in order to make each scene progress appropriately. Um, and if you've ever seen live theater, you know that stuff happens sometimes. You know, a costume piece goes missing, or the prop master has mislaid a prop, and things are delayed by a few seconds. It's usually not a big deal, or you improvise and the show must go on. Uh, but learning um, to continually check in, to give those prompts and receive the answers. You know, to use the CEO analogy, you know, you got to check with your HR, you got to check with your treasurer, you got to pass things by your board of directors. It's not just that you want things to get done, you got to make sure that all of the resources are there for it. So it sounds like diving should be done really anytime that you need resources for a thing, which as Taoists is a lot more frequently than we're taught, especially as Americans in this hyper independence culture. So a bit of a learning curve on the mindset itself, um, but it sounds incredibly worthwhile to make sure that your team is ready to have your back. Tango Yankee 2, Golf Echo India.
Perfect. You get it. Yeah, that is correct. If you use business as an example, it's really accurate how it is. Usually in Taoism, we use the metaphor of saying that you're like the marshal. So there are like three levels in the army, like the ancient kind of army. So there's the yun sui, which is the marshal, and then there's below it there's generals, that's the 将quân, and then you have the troops, the soldiers called 士兵, right? So there are like these three levels, basic. So what happened is the emperor or the ruler from the very high above, there's like only one guy, right? And he assigned one main marshal, to take care of the whole project. So we're going to like, kick this country's ass and whatever. So there's a mission. So this one guy is like the highest representative of the country. He's the marshal and he controls the whole project. But what he does is the whole job, the whole responsibility is that he manage the time and resources. That's it. Like he basically deal with resources and the time management. And then it passes on to the next level. So he assigned the resources, the time for things for the generals, and there are like more generals. So maybe like a 10 or a 5 or something, and every generals holds like a whole camp of soldiers. One general is responsible for one part of the project, and they will lead the whole bunch of people to do and execute. When they're done, they go back and report back to the marshal, and the marshal will have to judge. Okay, now everything is on time or everything is kind of late. So what do we need to do? And he kind of make the adjustment and tell the generals what to do next. And the generals then lead the troops to actually go and do the work. The generals are supposed to just make sure the work is being done and then report back and then say how it was and how the execution was and so on, and bring back the result. So you as the mage is supposed to lead the generals at the altar, and the generals will lead their troops to do work. Okay, so when you do magic, like let me bring out a god and do some like 4v5h to seal the door. Right? You are the marshal. You right to assign that one god, which is the general, to seal the door. And that general, the god, is supposed to have their own people, the team, to make sure everything is done. So when you have done the seal, you do a div and check up with that god, which is the general, to see how things go. So that's basically how it is. I saw Gap also checked in and say here's that work. So saying hello to him. Otherwise, we'll see if anyone want to check in. If you would like to check in, please come in with your call sign. Okay, it is a quiet Tuesday. Tango Yankee 4 Hotel Alpha Alpha.
Tango Yankee 4 Hotel Alpha Alpha. It was a good example that Gay used. I'm not as good at coming up with those examples. I don't really have much to continue with, so I'll pass the mic at this point. 2I4 HAA.
Okay. Now going back to the div with the 1, 2, 3 toss. Right? Remember we talked about 168, and it relates to your own 168. Okay, so the first one is the heart, and then the second one is like the soul, and then the last one is the final execution. So when you ask the god, you always think about like let's say if you have created a full head and you want the god to see what do you feel, what do you think, right? Now first is always D1, so it's like how do you feel, right? How do you feel? It's like do you like it or not? Okay, now the like or not like doesn't mean it's really good or not. It's just I like it or I don't like it. But I don't like it, but it's still good. Then well, yeah. So you give the second time to see how do they feel about this after thinking and analyzing. So they have to like actually analyze and see. Yeah, I think it like I don't really like it at the first glance, but after looking at it, I like it kind of, like it. So there you go. The second div is about like thinking, right? And then the last one, sometimes you don't even need to ask because That's like when you want them to do something, that's the outcome, right? The doing, that's the last one. And if I'm just asking if they like something, I only need one or two toss. So it's not always like one or three. Sometimes it could be two. You just need to know what you're asking for. Okay, passing the mic to Tango Yankee 2, Kilo Alpha India. A.
Tango Yankee 2. Oh,
Wrong person. Kilo Alpha India.
Tango Yankee 2 Kilo Alpha India. Okay, thank you, Sachan. Sorry about that. He said we mustn't use the word thank you. I'm taking it back. Um, Here is my question about Div, because I remember you did say something about you don't have to div. It's not necessary. So my question is, for like people like myself, like as we progress, is there a level whereby we don't really have to div? I mean, like if we can progress, like learning more and more and more and more, is it at some point? Is there a point whereby we don't have to really div? Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, if we like improve our powers, like, I mean, to the level where you are now at this point, is it necessary to div? Tango Yankee to Kilo Alpha India, that's you.
I understand what you're saying. It's not about you're powerful that you don't need to div. Actually, at my level, you div even more because you see more. So the more you understand, the more you will be diving to check. It's like if you're like a newbie leader, then you just check on the basics. But if I understand a lot about what they're doing, then I'll check a lot about the other things. The way to div, there's like so many methods and other, more detailed way to div to get information. And well, sometimes I know of something, but I don't know like that is it actually right or not. You got to check. You can't just like believe in yourself, or else you run into a lot of confusion later. Um, so yeah, like the better you are, the more powerful you are, the more you would want to do the div in more specific ways. And it's actually a problem for one to like, oh, I know it already. I don't want to give like that's the beginning of how the whole team or country will collapse because you're lazy. Like as a leader, you have corrupted. You're like you're like a leader, an emperor who don't check on their own people's work, or like you're like the CEO who got rich, and then you're like, nah, it's okay. I'll just stay home and play games. I don't have to check on my people. They're working anyway. I just pay them, right? Eventually, your company is going to like really screw up because you don't check. So it's not the more powerful than the more lazy. No, actually, it's not. You got to be responsible for the people that you send to work, right? So you need to div to check up to see if the work that you have done is actually okay. When we write fool, we div. Like every fool, we toss the cup to say, do you get it? Understood, right? Like the whole ticket needs to be understood on the spot before I even check the fool. So I'm like really sure that everything that I put in is understood. And when I check the fool, it's going to be understood as well. So Yeah, the better you are, the more like, you're in the higher level, the more you will be giving, not the less. Tango Yankee 2, Charlie Hotel Golf.
Yes, sorry, Sergeant. I got a little confused just now. That's why I jammed in. But I understand the chain of command with the maids, general, and the troops. I'm a little unclear about when you need to div three times. I understand the why you would div three times, like just to double check or to make sure things are what it is, or there might be a disconnect, so you want to check. But in what scenario would you need to div three times? And would there be at least, well, would there be at some part on the journey where you wouldn't need to div, you would be able to have a direct conversation with the code? Is that possible? Back to you, Tango Yankee 2, Charlie Hotel Golf.
Well, like I said, 168. When you div one time, you're just checking if the god get it or not. Like, are they listening? Do you understand? Right? That's it. But if you ask the second time, is the D6 like your mental, like thinking? Do you understand everything inside? Right? And then the last one is have you done it? So if you need to ask these questions, then you div three times. Sometimes we don't need to. Like for example, I'm just trying to open the altar, and I am writing a bunch of Fati, and then open the portal and all that, right? I just use one div to see, if they get it, then it's enough. Why? Because I'm very sure that these would be understood, and I'm very sure that I'm not in a rush, right? So I just need to do one time and it's pretty okay. Sometimes if you want to like really check to see if they are done yet, then you will do three times to ensure the work is done before you proceed. Because it's like if my request is like, oh, I need you to put oil and turn on the stove and then put oil and heat it up, right? So before I can put the meat into it. Now, if you are not ready and I put the meat, that will be a problem. So I ask three times the div cup to make sure that the whole wok is like hot and ready to cook. I will put the meat. So it depends on what you're doing next. And if that matters, then you will ask three times to confirm. Okay, so Tango Yankee 2, Golf Echo India.
Tango Yankee 2, Golf Echo India. Yeah, uh, Chung Xia Hong already asked the question that I had up next. Love that. Um, yeah, so uh, how do you distinguish if it matters? Well, this is probably something that happens like with experience, right? As you learn more about the processes involved in what you're asking for, I guess it would make more sense uh, whether whether you need to div one, two, or three times. Is there like is it a safer standard for disciples who don't really know what's going on yet to just go ahead and div three times for basically everything? Tango Yankee 2, Golf Echo India.
Okay, good news. I just got that sword. That is that Ha showed and Ding showed. Oh, that was a nice sword. Really, 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 really nice. Anyway, I'll take some nice pictures later. For the question of div, well, I can give you examples and you can see if you get it. For example, I'm writing a fool, right? So writing fool is just like writing a ticket. I don't need anything to be done, right? So basically, I write the fool and then I div to see, okay, is it good? Got it? That's what I'm asking, right? So if the god say, yeah, good, got it, then one dip is enough. Right? But if I'm like trying to seal the door because I want to block evils, like last night, right? Wing's house is like having all that problem. So if I put like a protection shield on it, then I will like do one or three. Well, yeah, I just do one. It's okay. Well, yeah. So the God got it. Like they understand. Okay, they're listening. But and then after a while, Wing is like, oh, but I still see things. Well, too bad because they have not taken action. So that's why you need to do 3 times to make sure like everything is like they got it, they understood, and it has been done, right? So then you need to div 3 times because it matters. Um, so yeah, last night I told Wing to take the fan and go around and fan the house and kill the evil, and it's like she did the first time and she did like one toss and she's like, oh, it's a yum. I'm like, okay, so all your troops aren't listening. Like they're not focused, they're not listening. Well, turn out she was not focused. And then she do it the second time and she was like missing out the basement, so she actually went for the basement, and then she come back with a thing. Okay, good, no, it's done. That they got it, but later she's like, "Oh my God, why is like I'm seeing things and there's like a guy on the couch, and then when I look again, the guy is gone." Like that kind of shit. And I'm like, "Yeah, that's the ye god." So obviously in that case, right, when you're diving, you div 1 times, your god might like, yeah, we got it, we got it. They're like attention is there, but don't know if they are actually understanding what you want and not really sure if they have done it or not. So if you div 3 times and it's like all positive, then you're much more like confirm that the work is done and everything is good, that there should be like nothing else that could happen later, right? So now you're like more clear. So it really depends on what you're trying to do, and do you need them to do it right now? Then you will do 3. Okay. So there you go. Let's pass the mic to Tango Yankee 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha.
Tango Yankee 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha. I had a question about the e-gods, and that it seems like these things are always trying to get our attention on some level, whether that's moving things around in our environment or making sounds or appearing and then disappearing. Is that designed exclusively so that we can just feed them our emotions or get some kind of reaction out of it? Sort of like, oh, we're upset about it, and or provide it with some extra energy or something to keep it going, to get these visual disturbances or auditory disturbances going in our sphere so that we can be upset? Or is it more like a warning to kind of chase us away from the location so that we don't give it anything else to work with? I'm kind of confused as to why it would do these behaviors, but maybe I don't need to know. I just think it's odd that some of us can see it and others of us don't. So, TY4HAA, Tango Yankee 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha.
Well, you got it wrong. It's not the ye god doing it to you. It's you not able to see the ye god. It's like you don't have the ability to see it. So what happened is what you're seeing is only your own energy body being affected to the point that you're glitching. So what you're seeing is not the actual ye god. That's like a glitch. It's not like really the ye gods. There are ye gods in the house, right? But it's not there in D8. The ye gods don't see your coach. They don't see anything in D8. So they cannot really interact with your D8 elements. But what happened is your soul energy, first of all, it's leaking. So it's like the soul energy is having a glitch and it's trying to tell you, you're screwed. So what happened is the soul energy will create a visual or audio or something like that, which alarms you that something's wrong. Okay, and it's creating something that you have seen. So it's like you have seen people sit on the couch, then it can create that for you. So you understand, someone is there. But it's not the ye god actually sitting there. The ye god don't see your couch. So it's not the ye god making us see things. It's just that your own energy body is glitching. So you're not seeing the thing, you're glitching. All the like flying shadows, the sounds, the illusionary sounds, and all that, they're glitches in your system. Okay. And because these ye crap is around, and your system is being affected because you're not strong enough to withstand them, then your system starts glitching to tell you to get the hell out of there. Right? It's like an alarm. It's not the actual ghost. Okay, I'll pass the mic back to you one more time. See if you get my message. Back to you, TY4HA.
TY4HAA. TY4HAA. So these are not actual EGOTs. These are our own systems, kind of like an echo off of whatever it is around us, kind of like a bounce, like, okay, there's something here, there's something here. It might be there, but the thing itself is not actually on this plane. They can't exist here because there's nowhere for them. It's like a water, like, if they go into this particular location, they're going to die for sure. But our senses pick it up as something else, like a visual on a screen. They're not there. They're not ghosts. There's a difference. It's not a ghost. It's something else that our system registers as being there. Does that sound right? TF4HA.
Kind of. Um, like last night, if I am physically there at Wing's house, I won't see those stuff. Okay, because like those stuff are not like what she is seeing is treated by her own soul energy to alarm her of what's going on. So if I have to go there and actually see the ye gods, I have to like close my eyes and enter the D6 and then like chase them down there. So like it's like they're around there, but not really there. Like they're not physically in the D8 side, right? So it's overlapping at the same location, but in D6. So they could be somewhere around, or maybe even like above or far away from that place. And because they're around, your energy system is like totally glitching out to tell you to get the hell out of there. Then you start seeing weird stuff. So yeah, it's kind of like our um, like a feature of our own system to keep us out of danger so that it creates those things for us. Okay, GY2KI, Tango Yankee 2, Kilo Alpha India.
Tango Yankee 2 Kilo Alpha India. Um, I just want to find out something. I think it's totally out of what we are discussing now. It's very important that I need to ask. Maybe it could be related. I did send a picture. I think it was about yesterday or 2 days. I opened my bonnet and I found, but it's not. It was not even the first time I found a food on top of the engine. And I took the picture. I sent it to the group, and I, I don't know. At first, I thought it was the rats or mouse, but it can't explain. I can't explain how it happened, how how it gets there, because that is the food. I think that is the food that was given to a dog. My mother was feeding the dog, but it ended up on top of the engine. And lucky for me, I opened. I must always check water and oil sometimes. So this day I decided to check it again also, and I find the food on top of the engine. And I don't think it was the rat doing, or it doesn't look like the work of the rats. as I suspected, because it's a huge amount, and the way it lays there, it looks like it was somebody who carefully placed it there. I want to find out if this kind of magic is really, because when I share it with my wife and my mother, they were also convinced like me that no, this is not the work of the mouse or rats. Tango Yankee 2 Kilo Alpha India. Back to you.
Ah, that is not magic. That is a D8 issue. Um, what can help you is installing a camera so that you can see actually what's going on. It could be people opening up your car and doing stuff. Who knows? So I don't know, but I can tell you what it is not. It's not magic. It's not spiritual. It's a physical issue. So if you install a camera, you'll be able to catch it. Tango Yankee 2, Charlie Hotel Golf.
Yes, Ajahn. I understand from what you're saying about if you can see those entities around is really your body is like a built-in alarm system telling you that there is something wrong and you don't necessarily have the ability to fight it, so you should flee. That makes a lot of sense. And just to go back to the divin, so let's say if I'm doing like a normal cleaning in front of my altar, would you recommend that I div 3 times? Because I usually just div once. Back to you, TY2CHG.
Okay, for um for the cleansing of the house, it really depends if you have urgency or not. Like if I don't really mind, they can take their time, and I'm just doing my daily regular cleansing. Then I did one time. Why? Because I just need them to tell me that okay, I got it. That's it. But if I already felt something is wrong, and I'm doing it to like clean up that wrong, then I need to dip 3 times to make sure they're done. Okay, so it really depends. There's no need to freak out about some daily cleansing because it's like, it will be done anyway. Just give it some time. And, over time you see nothing's wrong going on, then what's the big deal? So it's not I recommend or not. It's really like, you need to be more um like treating it like a live conversation. Like, do you need to check on it right away, or is it like something you just do and let them be? Since they're doing it every day, right? It should be like pretty easy, and you don't feel anything's wrong. So what's the rush? Okay, so there you go. Tango Yankee 2, Golf Echo India.
Tango Yankee 2, Gulf Echo India. That makes me wonder if we should be giving a bit more when we do our house cleansing and sealing, because there's just a tiny bit of urgency going on here. That's good to know. Um, Trying to think what else I had questions about. Um, can dipping be an effective way to assess if some mysterious happening is a magical issue or a D8 issue? Or is that just something we should come to you with until we get a feel for it ourselves? Tango Yankee 2, Golf Echo India.
You can, just that you need to like um, have some knowledge yourself and not just blindly uh, give, because if you don't understand, your God also doesn't understand. So we always say that there's this the power, like how much power do you have for div, which relate to like the proportion of your knowledge, like how much you know, which is how much your God should know. And when you give, all that knowledge is put to play. So if you don't even understand the basic of like, what can be magic, what can be physical, and you go give, your God is blind and he is just guessing around. So you need to have some standard, some knowledge to be like the foundation first, and then when you div, the God can answer you properly. Okay, so magic cannot affect physical things, so you can like do magic and then like move a cup or close the door or something like that. So it's very obvious that you can make dog food appear on top of the engine with magic. That's not possible. So now like you understand that when you face something that is very obvious, do you still need to div? Isn't that kind of stupid, right? It's like you already know, why do you have to div, right? So we only div when we are like we can't really explain it and we're kind of confused, and we get the god to send the god out and have them check. Okay, so you don't just div, you actually have to send the god to that place or person or thing and let them check. Okay, so it's like how you send troops, right? But you send the god out to check onto something and then you div. Okay, so looking at the time, it's now 2:05 p.m. We have the internet right here. 73 to all, and we'll see you in the next net if you're coming, 4:30. Otherwise, we'll see you back online. This is Tango Yankee 9 Yankee Uniform Echo. We'll be clear, clear, clear.
Tango Yankee 2, Charlie Hotel Golf, clear.
Tango Yankee 2 Kilo Alpha India, clear.